Welcome to another episode of the Fitish Podcast. Man, I'm already dropping the ball. I'm so holidayed out. If you look behind the camera that you can't see right now, my team is furiously setting up for a warehouse sale we're having this weekend. Do you see how Christmas threw up in there? And then I
saw
dropped the ball. I don't even have the Christmas
all
tree.
your little elves working.
My little elves. Well, I pay my elves.
You Santa.
I pay my elves. Yeah, I have that good excuse that I don't have to lift heavy shit right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I can kind of decorate, but I can't lift anything. I mean, it's an excuse, but it's true.
No,
yeah.
for sure.
But I feel bad because I just have this fake plant behind us for the podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, you can watch the show every week.
It was real.
Yeah, no, you didn't.
Oh, wow, you broke my heart.
Too, I know. I should put the Christmas tree back. Maybe next week I'll have the Christmas tree behind us. It'll be fitting for the holiday season.
Yeah.
It is December. Fran, thanks for joining us this week.
Of course, anytime.
How are you doing? You seem busy working. You're on your phone. What are you doing?
Just playing Candy Crush here.
Yeah. I feel like Fran's the real talent here. We're just waiting on his arrival each week as my producer Garrett and I have been sitting
not ready. My egg bites weren't here. My little room where I change is not there.
Your hair and makeup. We haven't had the budget for that yet. Maybe in 2022 we'll do hair and makeup.
I have to bring my own clothes.
I don't think most people care. A handful of you watch it on YouTube, but we found that we have a lot more people that listen to the podcast. I think I can share this. I don't think, and then my producer's going to look at me and be like, don't share these stats because I asked Russ. I should have just asked him. I don't know why I just didn't ask you, Garrett.
Why?
But I wanted to do kind of like a year end, like how many people have listened to the podcast, and I didn't want like specific demo stats, like each podcast, how many listen to this one or this one. It would be interesting to see how many people listen to the ones that Franny's on. But no, I just told him to give me like a whole like year to date, how many people
or how many
listened.
listeners have you lost every time that I'm in the podcast?
Yeah, right. I don't know. We'll ask Garrett after the show. But I was like, my jaw dropped when they added up when I was told how many have listened this year. Because I know a handful of people listen, but I feel like our Fitish listeners are so cool that we don't get a whole lot of complaints. I told you, like, we get a handful of questions when I ask y'all to message us about stuff, or sometimes it's just really nice messages. But I was kind of surprised thinking, yeah, I bet there's like a couple thousand people that listen, which is not true because we have advertisers that would be very upset about that. But anyway, I'll get to the point. So far this year, we've had almost 900,000 downloads.
Wow. That's amazing.
I know.
I'm pretty sure it looks like a heartbeat.
So can we get to 1 million?
Fran, with Fran. Without Fran, with Fran.
Well, I hope not. Don't sell it that way. Yeah. We'll ask Garrett when we're done. But yeah, really appreciate that because I mean, obviously, with that many downloads, a lot of you are coming back week after week to listen. So we kind of love your year-end feedback. I think with only a few more to go this year, and just kind of what we are planning for next year, what you love, what you don't love, what you want more of. I mean, we've gotten a lot of feedback about more Franny. You like stuff like that, but more business, more fitness, more wellness, more interviews, more guests. Like I'd love some feedback so we can start planning for next year. And I don't think I've ever asked you for that. So let us know.
Si quieren que sea en español.
Yeah, I need to work on that. By the way, speaking of, you've had one task when it comes to baby.
Oh, well, one task.
One task other than impregnate.
Yeah,
no, you've had one task lately when it comes to baby. I've ordered
Nanny.
all this. Yes, exactly.
So
good memory.
We touched base yesterday. She didn't answer. So we've been playing phone tag. We're going to get there.
We'll get there.
It done.
I have saddled, which is a huge responsibility. I've saddled Fran with this. I got a recommendation. I actually think our potential nanny's daughter is a fan, which is great because she found out that we've
been texting. Actually, the phone number that I got is for the daughter. So she's putting me in contact with the mom.
So Fran, I told Fran I kind of wanted him to take the lead on this because our one requirement is Spanish speaking. And frankly, we want someone that's actually of, Mexican heritage is what we prefer. So I'm going to be lost in the Spanish world between you and the nanny and the baby. But I think this is going to be the year that I actually start learning more Spanish because I'm going to be watching real elementary Spanish and learning words with the baby.
Yeah, baby and I are going to be doing the podcast all in Spanish at some point.
Yeah, you got a few years for that. We'll see if we're still around then.
Yeah, we'll see.
You have high hopes for the Finish podcast, don't you?
Oh, for sure.
that we're still surviving in a few years.
It's gonna be like the Simpsons of podcasts.
Have you thought about the questions that you need to ask the nanny? Because last night I was reading what to expect the first year. I've kind of blown through that, what to expect when you're expecting. I don't find that very interesting anymore now that I'm towards the end. But the first year is interesting, like all the stuff you need. Because I've had to get the pediatrician lined up. I've had to do all this shit. Have you thought, and in this book, they reference the questions you need to be asking
The nanny?
the child care provider that you're interested in hiring and pediatrician. Have you thought about the questions?
Yeah. Have you molested a kid? No. Have you...
That's real classy. I'm sorry for him.
No, just going for the basics.
So you think they're just going to be honest about that? Like, you think if you ask someone if they molested a child,
but
they're going to be
if
honest?
they say no, I want to like you follow up with other questions.
Oh, okay. So that's going to be out of the gate, your first question.
Yeah.
Okay,
Like,
what are your other questions?
what is the first thing you do when you see the kid naked? Like questions like just go like, like I don't know.
I'm more worried about you than the nanny now. I'm glad it's a boy. I'm more worried about you.
You just have to ask the questions.
Yeah, you're gonna ask the hard questions, see how they respond.
Yes, like if they get nervous, like you have to okay, you're a molester.
I told Fran he can. That question, by the way, okay, it would make anyone nervous and uncomfortable.
Well, then we were not gonna hire that person. Or maybe it's the other way. If they answer no, like super, like they don't get nervous, like, oh, you're a child molester.
Good. I'm glad you have this narrowed down.
Yeah. Oh, I watch a lot.
So I told Fran, I think it'd be great if he interviews the potential nanny in Spanish, right? Because I guess that's kind of like the test. I mean, I'm assuming she's fully Spanish speaking. And then we need to sit down together and meet with her, right? It's so hard. This whole parenting jam is so hard because we just don't know what kind of parents we're going to be, right? And I'm sure I know a lot of you that listen are parents right now, or maybe, you've written me about how you're trying to have children, and it's like hard once you get in this position because you go, I don't know what I want. They want you to make all these decisions for your child about, school or childcare, pediatricians, but it's like you don't even really know, are we going to be the type of parents that are great having someone help us? Or are we going to be micromanaging? Are we going to be able to handle a woman that's telling us what to do? Do we want them
we have that in the house.
Shut the fuck up. Do we want them a couple days a week? Do we want them every day? They ask you all these questions and it's like, but how do you even know what's going to work for us? I mean, we don't even know what works for us on a daily basis.
I think we'll know on the go. Like, I think like if we get a bossy one and we fire her, like, well, that didn't work out. If we get like one that just a pushover, that didn't work out either. Like,
I have these moments that make this feel more real, other than the fact that he's keeping me up all night, kicking me in the ribs, which is awful. But I ordered diapers, and I know out of all the stuff we've gotten, I ordered diapers, and that made it feel like, I don't know, something about diapers makes this feel, because that's just the mundane daily stuff that you need like thousands of, and it just felt, I'm like making changing stations where we live right now, since we're still in this townhome because we just keep getting screwed over trying to find a house. But I'm like making a changing station in the living room. That's what they say is like the way to do it. Multiple changing stations.
Yeah, no,
just a poop
we were
house.
talking about that yesterday. Just makes it real.
I actually, I had a baby shower this weekend, Fran.
No way.
Yeah. You were there for a minute.
I know.
He tried to get out of it. I just
don't know protocol of baby showers. Like, people ask me, like, should I go there? Should I, like, it's literally my first rodeo. So I don't know if
false. This is absolutely false. You and I just went to a baby shower for one of your friends a couple weeks ago.
But that was a couple's baby shower. The invitations is couple's baby shower. This one didn't say couples in it.
Fran, he's so intense. Fran loved it so much that now he wants to have a couple's shower. So I don't know if a lot of you
it's always good for a good party.
No, I know. And I think I don't want to deprive you of a good party. And I'm sorry that I didn't better plan a couple's baby shower, because you're right. And I'm selfish because I don't like parties.
Think that's not your job.
I had a baby shower, and this is why I don't like parties. And I don't know if a lot of you listening know this about me in general, and you'll probably be surprised, or maybe you'll be like, bullshit, Jenna. But as much as I think And I was talking to one of the women that hosted the shower for me because she's wonderful. Her name's Meredith Land. She's actually the anchor on the news here on NBC in Dallas. And she's been a good friend of mine for many years. And we had lunch a couple months back, and she was the one that initiated it. She said, Jenna, you need to have a baby shower. And I said, no. And her and I started talking about it. And I think her and I are real similar, which it would be surprising to people because when you have a job for many years that's in the public eye, you're like, yeah, these bitches love attention. Like you would think that because I have the social media and I post and I have a podcast and I was on the radio. But there's something when it comes to me throwing a party that's on a personal level that it makes me so uncomfortable. Like I never, since I've been an adult, I never have a birthday party for myself. I got coerced into having the retired-ish radio party, which in hindsight, I'm so glad I did because some girlfriends were like, you need to celebrate this chapter of your life closing and you doing your business. And frankly, it gave me a lot of anxiety. I didn't want to plan it. I'm stressed about the warehouse sale we're having. I don't know, whatever it is when I'm behind a party. And so to have a baby shower for myself felt, I don't know, like people aren't going to have fun. People aren't going to like it. I don't know. It just really stressed me out. So that being said, I just let a couple women plan it and it was great. And I only invited like a dozen people. I just made a decision. I'm not the type of girl, like I'm not going to invite every girl I've ever been friendly with, just because I've made a decision, like I don't want to share this chapter of my life with people who haven't invited me to stuff or that I'm not close to. And point is, it ended up being great. JC's wife, Kinsey, came. And, but again, I only invited like 12 people that I've just been, that have been supportive and that have been friends to me for a while, which included a couple of our gay neighbors that are no longer our neighbors, but they've been in my life for the last few years, been really supportive of the business. And so I had them. So Fran tries to get out of it being like, well, I'm not gay, I can't come. I'm like, no. You're supposed to come. The guy's supposed to stop by, pick up all the presents, load them in the car, say his hellos.
I got mixed messages from my surveys. Like people said, like there's couples baby showers and there is all girls baby showers. And I think there's no rules. I already got the look, so I'm just going to move on.
Well, more on that in a second because I did get some really great gifts. And speaking of great gifts for the holiday season, Tommy John. I have to say, even being pregnant, I have been wearing this particular bra that I got from Tommy John because it's like better than t-shirt material. It's the softest thing ever. They make boxers, they make underwear, they make such comfy stuff. And I am guilty of this. I love buying people pajamas and sleepwear for the holiday season. It's perfect. It's, you could buy it for the woman in your life, the man in your life. So if you're stuck on what to give your friends or maybe that coworker, look, don't give them lingerie because that could be awkward and set you up for something, but Tommy John has such fabulous sleepwear. They have new styles right now, comfy underwear, loungewear, and pajamas. I'm telling you, you're absolutely going to love it. They've sold over 17 million pairs. So just a few more pairs than we've had downloads of the podcast now. People love giving the gift of Tommy John. They have fanatics. I love my Tommy John. I've still been wearing the bra, like I said, being pregnant. Returns and exchanges are free. It's all backed by Tommy John's best pair you'll ever wear or it's free guarantee. I'm telling you, Tommy John's affordable as is, but you're going to get an additional 20% off your first order right now at TommyJohn.com/fitish. That's TommyJohn.com/fitish for 20% off. But you better order right now because they're, we're going to have shipping issues if you don't. So order now so your gifts arrive before the holidays. Again, that's TommyJohn.com/fitish.
That's a great idea because people always are like, oh, I don't know what to get so-and-so, like pajamas.
Do you know their new style, by the way, is they're calling this a merry softness and a happy new rear. I kind of love that. Look, as a business person, I love when companies have funny taglines. Yes. Yeah. Happy new rear. Really cute.
Happy New Year.
Well, okay. Well, back to my rear at the baby shower. No, it was really great, but I didn't want to. I told the girls that hosted it for me, Bina and Meredith, I said, I don't want to open presents. I don't know. Maybe as you get older, you realize, and look, if you're a woman that does this, I don't judge this. This is fine. I've been a part of a lot of baby showers. It's really fun, but a lot of girls will complain to me and be like, oh my God, I went to a baby shower last weekend and it was 3 hours long and 2 hours of it was the girl opening everyone's gifts. And I just said, not doing that. I'm not playing like poopy diaper games. We're just going to socialize, mingle, have some champagne, have some snacks, say hi and leave. Right. And, And that's basically how it went. It was really classy. It was really nice. It was only 2 hours. We played one game that was porn or labor, where you look at women's faces and see if they're in porn or labor. And one of my gay neighbors won. Like, how does a gay guy get 100? He had 100% of the 20 photos correct. We were like, how in the world does the gay guy?
I got all of them backwards.
Oh, yeah. So every time you've had sex with a girl, she looks like she's in pain. That's sad.
Oh,
that's your reference point.
Yeah.
I don't look like I'm in
Or
pain.
the porn I watch must be so weird because it all looks like they're in labor.
What kind of porn do you watch?
All sorts. Like
I've never asked you that. What kind of porn do you watch?
So all depends the mood, you know?
I don't know. Tell us. We're all listening.
Animals, sometimes like midgets.
Shut up. That's not an appropriate word to say.
5 girls, 1 guy, 5 guys, 1 girl.
Oh, multiple guys is an option for you.
10 guys, 20 girls. Like, all depends. Like gangbangs. Like, you never know the mood you're in.
So do you ever just watch like man and woman?
That's so 2008, you know? Like, man and woman is just like so archaic.
Yeah. Is it?
Like, yeah. Like,
really outdated. So like our relationship.
Well, that's something classy. We like to keep it going. Yeah.
But that's good to know you're open to multiple guys.
Pugs and girls.
Pugs. Yeah. I mean, technically our sex life is kind of like that because the pugs are like on the couch and we're there. So they are involved in a way. Yeah.
We keep it spicy like that.
Yeah. The pugs are just
Gracie
watching.
has been involved more than once. Like she likes to partake sometimes.
Really?
Well, sometimes. Like I remember the beginning of relations, like, oh wow, this is a tag team situation.
Did she lick you or something?
The first time she did, I was like, sister, come on.
You never told me that the first time we ever hooked up. Weezy was there and
one of the
you?
times, one of the first times. It's like, God damn it. And I said, God damn it, I liked it. Like, it's like, holy shit.
Oh my God, this conversation took such a turn. I'm so sorry. If you wonder, this is where we lost listeners. Yeah. Well, the baby shower was great. And then I decided to open up the presents at home and we got some really funny stuff.
Really great stuff.
And I just thought, I don't know. I just thought that was kind of like an easier, classier way to do it instead of see it. Because some people had bought presents online and shipped them and then some people came with presents, which was great. So we took them all home and opened them at home. And Claudia, who I've talked about before, she is actually one of my best friends. I just love her. She was like, will you please open the present at the baby shower? And I didn't know that until later, but now I get why, because we get home. And if you follow me on social, I posted this, but I don't like to think I'm gullible, but I open up this really nicely wrapped box. And the front of the box says it's a hermetically sealed frame for baby's first diaper. I'm like, this is weird.
With a button
with a button
that gives you the smell of your first.
I didn't see that part. And the side of it says also included in the set is an earring attachment for the umbilical cord. Yeah. And with a photo, and it's so gross. And so I hand the box to Fran, and he's like, we were both kind of looking at it for a second, going, God, like, Claudia and Steven are so fucking weird. Like, but
that's the most amazing. Like, she is the most original gift giver. Like, she gives these type of gifts with amazing things inside, and she's the one that gave us that amazing jacket with a lion in the back.
She got the little leather motorcycle jacket. She's the best gift giver. She was my partner in crime for Halloween. Like all of our best costumes were her and I together doing it. And she's immensely creative, and she's an accountant for a living, which is hilarious. But I love Claudia. She does actually all the accounting for the radio show.
Unreal accountant.
She's a real accountant.
Yeah, she's a real accountant.
Not a TikTok accountant. I'm an accountant. Yeah, no, she's a real accountant. But anyway, Fran and I opened the box, and it was just it was a gag box. Like, it was books and clothes, and it was so cute. So I saved the box. It's like, what a brilliant, funny gift to give at a baby shower. So if you're looking for something funny, I think you can just buy that look up prank baby shower box, and I think you can find it that way. But just really amazing. I loved it. So so we opened the presents at home.
Yeah, really
and that
cool
makes
stuff.
it real. Now we got so much shit. It's like, where do we put it all? Where do we put it all?
It's crazy. Like, it's crazy. All the gear you need.
Fran's so upset, by the way. We've gotten almost
Dude.
everything off our registry. I mean, I still got to get. There's a couple of like the higher price items that we're probably.
We have gotten.
Oh,
Some
I'm
of the
sorry.
higher
I'm gonna
price
say
items.
that we need to get until we have our couple shower. That's the reason Fran wants to have a couple shower. He would just like suck the life out of the baby showers, which isn't a bad idea. Fran and I are just different in that way. Like my stepmom was telling me to have a baby shower and invite a ton of people, like even people that I don't like or that I'm not close to, and I'm just not that type of person. Like I'd rather buy it myself than invite a whole bunch of people that I have to talk to that either don't like me or like haven't supported my business. And I don't
social thing.
I don't like it at all. I
don't care about the gift as much as I like the social thing.
Well, let's have a baby shower for you.
No. I think, but you never organize your own baby showers, so that's why other people do it. Like you don't organize your birthday party.
Friend's been having cocktails with friends, like in the hope that someone offers to throw him a couple's shower, and I think he's nailed it. I think someone's going to.
we got it.
You got it.
Yeah.
You know what,
we bamboozled someone.
I think it's interesting when it comes to relationships because that's something, my stepmom and I have talked about this actually because my stepmom, marrying my dad, I have a lot of qualities, tendencies, flaws, that my dad possesses. And I like to think I'm a little more social than him, but my dad is such a homebody. He's so introverted. He's brilliant and he's verbally, I mean, he's great and smart and talented, but he is so introverted. I mean, even growing up, like he never attended any kind of couples thing with my mom. Like he always stays home. And my stepmom and I have spoken about that because she is like Fran. She is like down to go out for drinks and parties with friends all the time. And my dad, doesn't want to go. And she said, that's just kind of something that in a relationship, you have to learn about each other, that it's okay for him, as long as communication's there. Cause I think my dad, she told me had the same issue. Like she would be in, New York for work or go out and like not communicate with him what she was doing. So for the homebody, we're fine with you being out. Cause I don't want to be out all the time, but we still like to hear from you. And I think it's hard. It scared me when you and I first met and started dating because I knew you were such a partier and I'm like, man, he's in for a rude awakening. Like he thinks I'm great at first because we just started dating and you have like rose colored glasses on. Cause like, I'm sure I'm not that fucking great after a while, like anyone isn't. But I was like, I'm really a homebody. I really am so much more than people know. Like I never have an issue. I mean, I was all dressed after the baby shower and I kind of wanted to go out to eat, but you had a cold this week and you weren't feeling good. And you were like, I just was going to go out to eat because I was already dressed and I was like, kind of do things like that for you. I'm totally fine like putting on sweatpants and sitting on the couch every single night, which I'm not proud of that that's who I am, but that is who I am.
Hey, but that's amazing. I love who you are. I love what you like.
I wish I don't think that outgoing people understand as much that I'm what do they call me? I'm an outgoing introvert because I can be outgoing and I can be personable, but it really drains me to be in a party with a lot of people. Like I get anxiety about going to a party with a lot of people. And anyway, I wish I was more down to,
No, babe, I get it. Like
go drink and go hang out.
I enjoy both of them. I enjoy being at home and I enjoy being out with friends, but
I knew you weren't feeling good though, because we had the Nutcracker plan this weekend. Fran never gets sick. And I've only seen him get sick like one time, which was last year on his birthday when we were supposed to go to the Nutcracker. Very interesting timing, right? But he denies that he's sick. And I think like with most guys, I guess it's a pretty valid stereotype with most guys. Like, oh, I'm fine. I don't need to go to the doctor. And I'm sitting here being like, no, I thought about this ZocDoc that is a sponsor of the Fitish podcast. This is the way to make it a little more convenient for the guy, because you're not like, hey, you need to go see my doctor right now. But this is kind of the scenario, especially over the holiday, right? Like when it's the holiday weekend, like last year you were sick over Thanksgiving. So you need to see a doctor, you search and find one that looks good, you wait to book an appointment, and then they're like, yeah, I can see you in like a couple of weeks. And you're like, no. No, like I need to see a doctor right now. All you got to do is download the free ZocDoc app. It's the easiest way to find a great doctor and instantly book an appointment. You can search for local doctors who are on your insurance plan, read the patient reviews, book an appointment. They'll take you depending on your issue. And that's the amazing world we live in with tech these days. In person or video, you're not going to have to wait on hold with a receptionist. And that's what's so cool is like, There are so many conditions now that doctors can treat virtually. I mean, yeah, certain things, you got to go get a COVID test. You got to go get a strep test. Some of these things you're going to have to get tested for before they give you medicine. But there's a lot of things, truthfully, that they're going to diagnose over a virtual call with you. And isn't that great? You don't have to go to the doctor's office. Anyway, go to ZocDoc.com/fittish and download the ZocDoc app to sign up for free. I'm going to spell that out for you because it's so catchy that you may not know what I'm saying. ZocDoc is ZocDoc. ZocDoc makes healthcare easy. Now is the time to prioritize your health. It is the holiday season. This is the prime time for you to be feeling under the weather. So just go to ZocDoc.com/fittish, download the ZocDoc app to sign up for free and book a top-rated doctor today. Many are available as soon as today. And that's really what you need when you're not feeling good. That's ZocDoc.com/fittish.
That's awesome. That's a really cool service when especially you're crumb and you don't want to go to the doctor.
When you're crumb?
You're feeling like crumb.
When you're crumb?
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, the Nutcracker was great. I realized something though. I don't have a whole lot of holiday traditions. I think
I want to hear this realization.
I hope I don't offend people with it, but I want holiday traditions, and I think having a baby, we're gonna want to have more holiday traditions as well, right? I mean, you need to understand, and don't nod your head and be condescending like this because it fucking pisses me off. But you do that. You do that. Women, does your man do that to you? Like they just kind of nod their head at you, like let me hear. Drives me crazy.
We want to hear the realization.
You know what it is.
But they don't.
You're happy about it.
I don't know.
Gloating. You're gloating already. I'm not going to share my realization. He's gloating. He's gloating about my realization. No, I think growing up, we had some traditions when I was little and I loved Christmas as a kid. But then, my parents got divorced and things were really not good for a while, to be totally honest. Like I had some, not straight Christmases alone, but some holidays alone in there, Thanksgiving. And, my mom was kind of in her own world and my dad had gotten remarried and we weren't on good terms because of the way things went down. And I was an only child and I yearned. I mean, holidays can be and that's why I have a lot of empathy for people over the holidays because I'm in a good place right now. I mean, we're in a good place. We're having a baby. This is kind of a new chapter for us, something to look forward to. But I've had a lot of holidays, something about Christmas, and y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, if you're not in a good place, something about Christmas makes you feel like shit, like it makes you feel bad if you don't have family or loved ones around. It can put you in a really dark place. So I always said I'm looking forward to the time maybe when I have my own family that I can start some traditions. Well, one of those traditions that we had when I was little, my mom would buy me, probably like a very ugly velvet dress, a new one every year, and take me to the Nutcracker. And I did ballet when I was young. And I have such fond memories of that, even though I don't remember all of it. But I do remember that she used to take me. Of course, my dad didn't go, but we would go every year to like the Nutcracker matinee and go have brunch or something. Of course, we stopped that for many years. I mean, for the last 20 years, we haven't done it. And I decided to reinvigorate. We're living in a city that does a beautiful Nutcracker ballet. And so last year, Franny got out of it. Well, the Nutcracker ballet wasn't happening. The symphony was. And you're very arty and cultured. You say you love this kind of stuff. And I think that you do.
Absolutely.
So, so I took my mom last year on his birthday because you were so sick in bed. You really were. And it was the symphony version. Well, this year we were excited. I was like, I got us really good tickets. My mom and I, we were going to get dressed up. We went to a nice dinner beforehand. And then we were going to like the 8:00 Nutcracker this weekend. And I got there and I sat down and I went, this was a bad idea. This was a bad idea. I was in the middle of a row. It was so I was so claustrophobic. I think after COVID, you don't realize or people have kind of, I'm just gonna be honest, and nothing to the Nutcracker and the Texas Ballet. I mean, that the performance itself is like amazing, and the ballerinas are stunning. But it was just, I think from not doing something like that in so long, and people are coughing, and now you're more aware when something's quiet. I think people have kind of forgotten how to act too, because we've been home like animals for so long that people just aren't as polite as they used to be. And there were tons of kids. And I'm like, am I going to feel differently when I have a kid? I don't think kids should be allowed in an 8:00 show when they have all these matinees. I mean, we were surrounded by little kids just being so rude. I mean, they're just eating their candy, rustling around. Some were sleeping, some were crying. And then we're in the middle of a row, which was my mistake. I thought that'd be good seats seats. And I'm thinking, no, next time we got to sit on the end. Cause then I had to pee so much. Fran was just about to lose his shit. He just like got up and left at some point at the very end. Cause he's like, I got to go get the car. We all looked at each other. And even my mom was like, we could like skip next year. I was like, okay, well that tradition's out the window.
I have to say one thing. Like I love the show. Like,
oh yeah. I love the show.
I enjoyed last Saturdays more than I've enjoyed other times we've gone seen it. I think it was great, but like I might be crazy, but being in the middle of that row, like I'm always thinking like active shooter, we're dead. Like,
oh, that's what you're thinking?
Yeah, like shit like that. Like,
yeah, I know what you mean. And it's weird because every time I go to a movie, he knows this. I sit on the end. I sit closest to the side of the movie that has an exit, and I sit on the end because of claustrophobic germs, things like that. And I'm usually not that weird, but I don't know why I got us great seats. I don't know why I thought the middle row was great. Last year, it was only like one family per row. Maybe that's what I was thinking because it was sold out completely.
No, it was packed.
It was packed. And there was no getting up. And at a ballet, there's like, it's like an hour and an intermission and an hour. Like it's very rude to get up. Like you can't unless you're very discreet about it. So yeah, next time we go, I'm going to get those like little seats on the side.
Palcos or something like that.
Or like the ones on the balcony where you look over.
The balconies.
Yeah. I don't know. And I don't know if that's going to be an unpopular opinion. Like Jenna, you'll understand when you have kids, you want to take them to do something at night. And I'm not saying all the kids were terrible, but it was very distracting. It kind of felt like it was like a matinee show or like we were at like a kid's movie at some point. And I like to be so intoxicated by the ballet.
I remember that our parents used to take us to.
They didn't let me eat in the ballet when I was a kid. Night stuff.
And I remember when the first time I went, I was a kid and my parents took us to the theater. And of course, as a kid, I asked, where's the popcorn? And I remember like, there is no popcorn in theater. Like you don't eat in the theater. Like, and now these kids, like, it is so annoying because you hear the plastic. You hear the.
Oh, she's picking out colors of jelly beans. And I don't know, maybe as parents, you're like, Jenny, you're going to get it. You're going to want to take your kids and just deal. But there's so many good matinees. I mean, that day and the next day and Sunday, they have a matinee that I thought that's like what you took your kids to. I mean, when we left, like I had to step over like a couple dead kid bodies because they were sound asleep.
Yeah, I just kicked them. I'm just kidding.
All right, hold on. I want to jump to a podcast question we got from Caitlin, and she says she has some relationship type questions for us because she likes hearing other people's opinions on things. Well, we have some of those for you, I'm sure.
We have a lot of them.
She wants to know, what was your experience when you first moved in together? Was it difficult to mesh all of your different things together? Did you find a new place or did your partner move into your place? And if they did, was it difficult to let go of things now that it's their space too, not just your own? And then she has another interesting question after this, but let's tackle that one first. So I've lived with someone before, Fran. I lived with my college boyfriend and we had found a place together, but we were moving to a new city. In our scenario, we just happened to move where I was already living. I mean, we probably would have found a new place, but now this day and time we live in, it's just difficult. So
I think it was, our particular situation was rare because I had a place and she had a place, but we mainly, because of her work, we mainly spend time on her place because she has to wake up at she used to have to wake up at ungodly hours.
It was actually so nice because, I had dated people before Fran, no one that I had lived with. But obviously, when you date people for an extended period of time, you kind of do the back and forth between people's houses. But I was always in a position of like spending the night there and then like dealing with all my shit in the morning. But I do think it's important. And I know this is a very forward liberal way of thinking, which is kind of how I am with romantic relationships. I'm not traditional about marriage. And so this is just my opinion. It's not what I feel is right. Because I know a lot of people, and we're in the South, feel very strongly about, not living together before marriage. And that is just something I feel is very outdated. Like I couldn't disagree with that more. I actually feel that you learn so much about someone when you start sharing space together and traveling together and living together that it might save you down the road. You learn a lot about each other. I mean, I get the religious reasons why but that's not me. So anyway, that being said, I think you spend a lot of time with someone in a relationship, right? I would like to think that you kind of go back and forth and spend the night together. before you make the decision to move in, whether you leave a bag there, you leave some toiletries after you've been dating a while, you have stuff there. But I do think that luckily Fran and I, neither of us are clean freaks. I think that's what makes things tough is if someone's really messy and someone's a clean freak, you have to relinquish a little bit. I mean, it's all about compromise. I mean, we get frustrated with each other about different things, I think. I mean, luckily, like I said, neither of us are clean freaks. I think you just deal, right? I mean, I think you move in with someone that there's probably plenty of pieces of furniture that I've gotten that aren't your favorite. I think we talk about style, and when I go to buy a piece of furniture,
we meshed, like my furniture with your furniture.
We did. He has bar stools,
the bed.
I was just kidding. Yeah, you got some good. No, you have some good furniture. Yeah.
And
we brought some of his stuff in.
And yeah, for like a year and a half or so, like I used to call it my very expensive closet because I still had my condo and I was just putting all my clothes there.
I know.
And now I have a drawer.
I don't think I ever spent the night there.
I don't think you ever spend the night there.
But I had the dogs.
Yeah, I know.
And there's trade-offs. Look, like Fran he's a gourmet chef. And I tricked him into thinking I was also a good cook. But he makes a disaster of the kitchen. And when I talk to women about it, they're like, but he cooks and he still cleans somewhat and he puts stuff away and he cooks. That's always the thing women say, like, he cooks. I was like, yeah, but like, I don't know how it gets on the back of the stove. And again, I'm not a clean freak. I don't know how it's back there. Well, like when I cook, I try to be too clean, but then again, I'm a terrible cook. But something that's really saved us, I think, are some of the, this particular, meal delivery service like HelloFresh, because when we have these nights that I'm like, I don't really want to cook. I'm a good sous chef, I think is what they call it. Like I'm there for emotional and moral support. Yeah. So Fran can actually do the cooking.
She puts the music on.
I drink the wine and I watch. I don't drink the wine right now being pregnant. But look, HelloFresh, you're going to get fresh pre-portioned ingredients. My biggest thing with cooking in general is like I hate making the list and going to the store. So to have a service like this that's, not only is it more affordable than me trying to go to the grocery store and buy a bunch of stuff that I'm overbuying, stuff that I'm not going to use, this is America's #1 meal kit. So you're going to get all of these pre-portioned meals, right? Packaged up nicely, delivered to your front door. All you have to do is unload them into the fridge. You get amazing recipe cards. You're obviously able to hold the meals if you're traveling over the holidays. You can put it on pause. The holidays are hectic. I mean, I can't even imagine, we're going to have to be better scheduled when we welcome this baby into the world. But, you're jumping around, traveling, seeing family. It's so nice just to have a couple of meals set a week that are ready to go in your refrigerator, that are nutritious. HelloFresh also offers so much variety. If you're a vegetarian, if you're trying to be calorie smart, if you're more gourmet, you're going to have 50 menu and market items to choose from every single week. And all the meals are going to be ready in around 30 minutes or less, because who has the time to spend hours in the kitchen? If you want to know specifics, how does balsamic and fig beef tenderloin sound? Or pecan crusted salmon? That just sounds very fancy, like restaurant quality. And it is. And they even have some limited time goodies over this holiday season, like ginger spice cake truffles, cherry cheesecake swirl bars. You're going to save on average over $65 a month when you order HelloFresh instead of grocery shopping, which means you have more money to spend on other fun things like presents and activities. So check out HelloFresh. You're absolutely going to love it. If you go to HelloFresh.com/Fitish14 and use the code Fitish14, that's FITISH14, you're going to score 14 free meals and 3 free gifts. How great is that? 14 meals. I mean, that's a couple weeks eaten right there, right? So go to HelloFresh.com/Fitish14. Again, that's the number 14. Use the code Fitish14 for up to 14 free meals and 3 free gifts. Really awesome.
That's for someone that cooks. That's the dream. When you get exactly all you need. Like they actually.
Yeah, like little creams and stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's so cool.
Yeah, I love it. Well, back to living together to kind of finish answering Caitlin's question. I just think there's no right answer here. Whatever works for you, right?
I'm 100% with you. It's very important to live with someone. And it's like buying a car. Like you have to test drive it. to see if you're gonna like it.
You liked this?
Well, I'm past the point.
You passed the point. We're decorating out here for our warehouse sale, and I have this really cool black velvet chase that's up here. And one of my employees said, "Jenna, why is this up here? It's such a nice piece of furniture." I was like, "Well, it was in our master bedroom, but it became a closet, as most pieces of furniture that aren't the bed do, right? In your bedroom, you got a chair, it's a closet. Like we even have our bedside bassinet, like the fold down one that your sister gave us that we're going to use for the baby. And
it's
right now it's baby's closet. Like it's filled with some, I think some of Fran's stuff's in there too.
That baby has more clothes than I do.
No, he doesn't.
He's going to be the most fashionable baby you've ever seen. Follow him in his new to be Instagram. We don't have it yet, but he for sure going to have one.
Fran said the other day, he goes, "I'm actually so glad we're having a boy. If we were having a girl, she'd have so many more clothes right now," which is true. I mean, I'm sure there's just so many more options with girls.
She will be using my closet side.
You don't understand how many, I know you think it's crazy, but I was reading that book last night. Do you know they recommend like at least 6 to 9 onesies of one particular size? And then the next size, then the next size. I haven't even put a dent in the amount of onesies. So you're going to laugh, but like I'm organizing it. He's going to be more organized than you and I.
His shoe game is better than yours. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you that.
Hey, a lot of them are hand-me-downs.
For sure. Hand-me-downs like Lucas, my sister's baby.
We're excited because like we got his nephew, who's so cute, little cowboy boots and some Nikes or something like that. And I guess his sister lost track, or because he just suddenly like grew overnight before she had put them on him.
Well, he was a COVID baby, so he never.
Oh, that's right. He didn't wear shoes
to sport them out.
Anyway, so she gave them back to us brand new. We're like, well, this is great. This was a gift that we liked anyway. Yeah. The other question she asked, though, by the way, which I think is interesting, is if your partner has asked to have separate rooms and separate beds, what would your thoughts have been?
Is that all?
No, she wrote more on here just about, sometimes couples that have been together for a long time do start sleeping separately because it works better for them. Not as many new couples start out doing so, though it's not unheard of. She's like, she hasn't lived with anyone before. She's been on her own for a number of years and is really set in her ways and super independent. And she doesn't sleep well at all when she's in the same bed as someone. But she's willing to compromise. I don't know. Look, a lot of couples for work reasons, kids, sleep apnea, like whatever it is, do sleep in separate beds. The way couples function is very impressive to me. I mean, the way good couples function, people have open relationships and it works for them. I mean, I think it just comes down to like whatever works for you.
Communication, yeah.
Fran actually we made a guest bedroom and we've had a couple of nights where we've slept separately, mainly because we wanted to kill each other. No, or like he was coughing so much the other night and I'm pregnant and so uncomfortable. I've heard that becomes more the case. Like when you have a baby too, like if you had a work schedule or you were up.
I don't think it's a wrong thing. You just have to make sure that he's not looking for a fucking roommate. Or if he's looking for a roommate, and you're okay with that, that's great.
In a new relationship, I think it's like you want to sleep next to someone, right?
There's people that know what they want, and maybe he doesn't like to sleep with anybody in the bed.
Yeah. Or you don't. But when you talk about being set in your ways, look, Fran and I have met in our late 30s. Yes, men and women get more set in your ways as you get older for sure. But I think that's why at some point, a lot of people say being single is easier. Being single is 100% easier than being in a relationship. It can be lonely and it can suck, but there are a lot of pros to being single. I mean, you don't have to answer to anyone. You don't have to ask to take your motorcycle out across the country.
Yeah.
But you don't have to like confer about things, and but there's so many upsides to being in a relationship where you do compromise. I'm stubborn as hell, and I think you're pretty stubborn too, and we've had to make a lot of compromises in the relationship, but it's worth it, right? 100%. There you go again, pissing me off.
I said 100%.
I see you. I mean, smug. I see you. I hear you.
God.
What was the hardest thing? Can you think off the top of your head that you've had to compromise on with me? Like something that was really difficult? Because I know something for me that's been maybe not the most difficult. And I'll let you think about it and I'll tell you mine. Fran had some issues with the way I dressed. And why are you nodding your head?
Because it was one comment.
No, it wasn't. there's been moments that I wanted to post something on social media and you're like, you're not going to post that, are you? That's for us.
Well, can you imagine what would it be?
Yeah, they probably want to see it. No, there were just some things like that, that we had to talk about it in therapy because he got very upset with me one day that I like answered the door to some movers and I had a white t-shirt on. I didn't have a bra on. It's not like I was like, hey movers, but like I just was in a t-shirt, and
You just said that we didn't get a discount for that.
But look, I feel proud of myself because I was fucking pissed, to be totally honest. Like it turned into this whole thing for us, or there was a time I had a business meeting with a guy and he thought he was like, he kind of said something to me about like it being too low cut that I bent over and you could see my boob. And look, this is going in a good direction. See, it's going to make him mad right now. But being a single girl all these years, I mean, I buy my own clothes. You start to get in this mindset of like, I dress how I want. Some days I wear workout clothes. Some days I look like a homeless person. Some days I look like a skank. Like I dress based on my mood. It's never affected my business dealings. It's never affected anything. I worked on a job where I could wear whatever I wanted to work. Yes, sometimes I dress maybe inappropriately for some. Sometimes I'm like, I dress terrible. Like I don't even like, I don't even care how I look. I think that for me, but it kind of gets back to this whole point that the therapist said. She's like, Jenna, you don't have to understand why your partner isn't okay with something. You don't always have to understand each other. You don't have to agree. You just need to know I love him and it's a point of contention and it bothers him because he doesn't want someone to see through my shirt. He doesn't want maybe a photo that I posted, even if it's something I would have posted being single, he's not comfortable with it. So even if I don't agree, if you want to be in a relationship, you have to understand where he's coming from. And it was like really hard for me at first. I was really pissed about it. I'm like, you can't tell me what to wear with the clothes that I buy with my own money. But then you get to the point that you're like, that's not what it's about. He cares about you. And I admit it was really hard for me, but when I talk through it, it totally makes sense because these are the things you compromise on. It's not the easy things. It's not what do you want to eat for dinner. It's the things that are like fundamental to yourself as an almost 40-year-old woman that I'm like, why does it matter? And you're right. You don't criticize stuff that I wear all the time. It's not like that. It's just
and I think you have amazing style.
It just was really hard for me to understand where you were coming from is the point.
I think the hardest thing for me was just, I've been always very used to and I think still an issue to the day, last minute things. Like sometimes I have to go to Mexico tomorrow and sometimes I have to go to, I don't know, Florida and things just get last minute.
I have a really hard time with it. I'm like, when we have a baby, you can't just go like tomorrow.
Jump in a plane and go and do this and that. And I've been trying to be better at scheduling and I've set up this expectation with my business peers that they know that I can do that. So they know that I'm there and available and I'm trying to set up different expectations for them to please you.
Yeah, to please me.
Yes.
Well, I think it's fair when you go to have a child together at a certain level in the relationship. You can't just be like...
to please you.
To please him. Yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah, because you think I rage now. Hey, babe, I just bought a Southwest flight at 7 a.m. tomorrow to go to St. Louis and buy a motorcycle that I'm going to drive home in one day. We have a baby. I'm going to be like, could I get like a couple of days heads up? That's the kind of thing. Like, can I get like a couple of days heads up that you're going to go out of town and do something like that? I don't think that's unreasonable, but yeah, that's definitely,
Next time I buy a motorcycle across the country, I'll give you a couple of days.
Thank you. I'm glad we've learned so much.
I love
You're so good at compromising.
I'm a compromising king.
Oh, well, on that note, but revisiting, I want to hear from y'all about the things you love so we can do kind of a recap at the end of the year on like some of the show favorite moments and things you'd like to hear more of next year. More Fran, less Fran. We'll have to see. You might be fired.
Oh, bummer.
As you just got started. Yeah, you might be fired. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But we're really looking forward to, hopefully we're going to have some wishes on in the next couple of shows. I know you've been sending in nominations. So I'm going to take care of some of those off air as well. So look for some emails from me.
I'm excited about those. Last year was amazing.
It was. And we do some that we don't
Very
call
motivating.
and record. So hopefully we can try and hook some of your loved ones up this year and make the year end a little bit brighter. But for now, that's all. So info@fitish.com is the place to go. I don't believe we're taking any more nominations because we've been pretty inundated with those, but just some feedback for the show would be great. And we will catch up with you next week, hopefully with a Christmas tree behind us.
Well, always a pleasure. Love y'all.
Great close.
Bon voyage.
Bye.